Okay, so here we go. I have pretty much everything prepared. Um, and my phone situation, hopefully that will hold out. But I've sent you all the printout of this process of ironing, but I'm going to show it to you. I made a little prototype, um, of what we're doing here. Just a little 7.5 by 7.5 square. And it already, I have the stitch witchery, just like you guys have. I have an extra piece of parchment paper because it is the stitch witchery is overlapping here, so you might have some of that too. So you need also, according to the instructions, you need one over it so you don't get your iron yucky. So I have parchment paper underneath. Hope you can see that underneath. Then I have my parchment paper that I have my pattern on, and then I have the fabric pieces, and they're all pretty much overlapping, so there's no gaps. Okay, so I don't have this heated up yet. Oh, it is. Huh, how about that? Okay, so I'm just going to go from the center. I'm just going to gently, go from the center out. This might take a while. I mean, you guys are big, so it's going to take a while, but I thought I better not do something big because, well, for one thing, I don't have anything. And I just put this together this morning. Or this afternoon. It's very, it's a very simple design. And what I'm going to do as well is, you can see my clouds. I didn't really put them in. I just used this batik. So I'm going to lift this up to kind of see, if it looks like it's, see, there's some white. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a little bit of white on the edge. This looks like it's fused. This doesn't. So I'm going to go back in. You might want to let it cool a little bit before you pick it up. It's kind of hot. Some of you might have some fingertips that you use for hot gluing or whatever. You could use those. Okay, this should be good. I'll flip it and check if I can grab the end there. Oh, wrong end. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's all. I don't have any white spots. So I'm going to take that bottom layer off. I keep my pieces of parchment paper that, I keep them in a little bin over here and just stick them in. So I'm going to let that cool for a little bit. So while I have that cooling, I'm going to bring you over here, and I have my batting cut larger and my fabric backing sitting here waiting. Okay, and then I'm going to try, I don't know where I'm going to put, oh, maybe I can put it on this. I'm not a TV production person, especially by myself. Hang on, I'm going to put you over here. All right, see if I can get this back. Oh dear. Okay, I'm just going to hold it for now. So, I have my free motion foot on, and I have the one that is a dish. Now, you don't have to have that, but if you have one that's like a prong one or one that's a different type, just be careful that you don't catch your layers if they're not down all the way, if you know what I mean. I have my my free motion set, my feed dogs down. And I'm going to be using a variegated thread for this whole thing. And I am going to do the tree right on top of that landscape. So I'm going to use this variegated thread for the whole time, just to save time for switching threads. So the tree is going to be all variegated. And that's okay, because you'll be able to probably see it better anyway. Now for the bottom thread, I'm just going to use a dark green, or, medium dark green. You don't need to use your variegated thread on the bottom. I mean, if you have some solid threads that kind of the same value as your variegated thread, I recommend that you use that. Okay. Now, as far as needles go, for right now, I'm going to use Microtex 8012. That should work. I am going to do a test run on a scrap sandwich. This is top stitch needles. If you have a little bit thicker thread, you might want to try that. And then if you ever are inclined or wish to use metallic threads, I would use the metallic thread needle. And then I use this Sewer's Aid, and I put a drop of it on my metallic thread spool, just a drop. And then I put it also on the bottom of my, just a thin layer on the bottom of my foot. It helps keep the thread from shredding, because metallic threads tend to do that. And then this is a stretch needle. That is also good for if you're not for us particularly, because we're using Stitch Witchery, but if you did have something with that steam-a-seam and it's gummy, the stretch needle is good for that. And you also want to put whatever thread you're using, some of the Sewer's Aid on. If you're using steam-a-seam, it will help to avoid the gumminess on your needle. And then, of course, also you would use I use a lens spray on a cloth and clean your needle off. So that's just a little extra tip. Let's go see if this is cooled off. I'm not gonna use this because it's too hard to put back on. I don't know what I'm gonna tilt my. You see all my goodies. Maybe I'll put it in this bowl. Maybe that would be good. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. I don't know here. All right, I'm going to put it like that. I hope you guys can see. So I'm going to peel this parchment paper. Can you see it? Peel this parchment paper off. And sometimes it doesn't come off all at once. And I just throw it away. You want to save these, though. You want to save the ones that don't. And you can see my little pieces of Stitch Witchery. I take those off. You know, some of these instructional videos you see, they make it go fast. I don't know how to do that. So you have to watch my whole process here. And the marker came through on my piece, but that's okay, because I'll cover that up with some stitching. All right. So there's that. It's all one piece. Yeah, all one piece. This is the back. This is the front. And you can see my marker, which I'm going to cover up with red. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I already have the batting and the backing cut out. I'm going to place my quilt top, we'll call it. I think that's what I called it in the instructions. On top of the batting. And bring it over. And I don't really need the parchment paper underneath anymore, so I'm going to put that on top. And I'm going to iron that onto the batting. I hope I had it centered well. I might not have enough batting, more batting than, I think I didn't have it centered. Oh, I guess I did. You don't have to do that as well as you did the other. And then I'll come over here. And it is adhered to the batting. Okay, and then I'm going to take that over to my spray station. Believe it or not, I just cleaned out my studio. It still looks crazy, but it's workable. I have too much stuff, but I never know when I'm going to need something, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to spray that lightly. Well, I got some little, I guess it doesn't matter, it's just little frays on there. You don't have to spray it a lot. You know, it just needs to stick so it doesn't move while you're sewing on it. And then I need 2 hands. I usually have my friend help me video, but she's not available today. Okay, I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Sorry about that. All right, so I did it. How about that? And just smack that down. And now you have your sandwich. Okay, and the reason we have extra is because sometimes it will shrink while you're quilting, especially if you have a larger piece. Of course, mine probably won't. And then afterwards, you know, you just square it off and trim it. So we're going to bring it over here. First of all, though, I am going to, oopsies, sorry about that. I'm going to get this threaded. Oh, I wish this thing hadn't busted. You know what? I'm going to turn this off and see if I can fix my thing.